Well, we're here at Doorway into Light, the Death Store, the only nonprofit funeral home in the state of Hawaii. We're reinventing the funeral home as an educational resource center. We want to bring death and dying back into village life. That's why we're here today. A culture that's in aversion and denial of death is a culture that's surely going to eat the world. And so we're out here with the people today because death and dying are part of the story and part of the miracle too. And we're here to educate, inform, and empower people to reclaim something we've given away to big business and institutions, and make death and dying as important as every other part of what makes a spiritual and sustainable life.
And what services does the Death Store provide?
Well, we're the only certified green funeral home in the state of Hawaii. We offer green burial. We're the only people in the state doing ocean body burials. We do a lot of free counseling as people are dying. We work with their families. We work with people after someone has died. We work with people who are grieving, and a lot of counseling, a lot of information, a lot of education, a lot of empowerment and support for community, what really is community building work, a sacred service for us to take back that work as community.
A non-green burial, what does that mean?
Non-green burial could include toxic cancer compounds that go into embalming. When people are embalmed, a lot of people think you need to be embalmed. Not true. A lot of cemeteries now, people are burying in hardwood caskets or steel caskets. There's enough steel getting buried every year that would make a Golden Gate Bridge every year. Hundreds of thousands of tons of concrete are going into the earth. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals. Many cemeteries require concrete or plastic linings inside the grave, basically to make it easy to mow the lawn. The current model of cemetery is outdated, and yet cremation, very toxic practice. A lot of oil and coal or fuel go into propane, go into cremation. A lot of carbon emitted in the atmosphere. People think cremation's the way to go. We want to have a burial ground, a natural burial ground here on Maui that actually helps protect lands, helps reforest, and could be an agricultural project, could be a park, open space, where the natural burial ground where families could dig the hole themselves if they chose to. Again, bringing it back more into community.
And what is a home funeral, family funeral?
Home funeral is if someone dies in a home, or someone could die in a hospital and be brought back to the home, where the funeral actually happens in the home. And we help families have home funerals here on Maui, where we'll help bathe the body, we'll help the family bathe and dress the body and create an altar around the body, and families then invite their families and their community and friends into the home where the funeral happens, right around the body in the home.
Bodhi, how do people reach you? How do we get in touch for more information?
You can go on the website, www.doorwayintolight.org. You can call us 573-8334. We have our funeral home is in Haiku on West Kuiaha in the old Pauela Cannery. We're there on Saturdays, and we make appointments with anybody. We really want to help, educate, empower, and support families and communities.
Super. Anything else we want to know?
Stop on by before you leave.
And, so tell me about the Wheel of Death.
Oh, good. The Wheel of Death. We're breaking out the Wheel of Death, and really it's a conversation piece. Each one of these pies has a different a topic around death and dying, as you see, and also you can win a prize. And certainly everybody loves to spin a wheel, and you spin a wheel and it stops on a topic. And then we ask people to talk about what they know about that specific topic. Oh, in this case, pets. People who've had pets die. A lot of the kids have come up and spun the wheel and started talking about a fish that had died or a dog that had died, and kids start talking to us. Kids start asking their parents questions. Parents start asking us questions. So it's been a great beginning for this Wheel of Death as a conversation bridge to get people talking to each other and wanting to know more.
Why do you think that death has become so foreign to our current culture?
Well, for one thing, we've made it invisible in this culture. We're not around dying people. Death and dying has been given over to experts and costs a lot of money in this culture to die, and if you die in a hospital, it's a fairly invisible. They don't really want you to see that people die in a hospital. Somehow dying has turned into a mistake or a failure or a punishment, and because it's not part of village life like it is in so many villages forever all over the world, it's become invisible. Consequently, we don't have any direct experience in terms of learning how to die, or what to do when you're around dying people, or how to show up to support people who are dying. Again, we're kind of clueless and illiterate around dying, and so oftentimes we turn it into the taboo thing because we don't know about it and we're afraid of it. And of course, so many of us are afraid of change, and certainly the unknown, and death, of course, is the biggest change and the biggest unknown. And so we tend to make it go away. Quite the opposite, really, if you think about it, that a healthy life includes its death, and every marriage includes somebody dying, and everyone we know will die and we don't know when, and we will die and we don't know when. And when we see what happens to people who are dying and the suffering that shows up around an unlived life or unresolved relationships, we see how much we could do as people alive towards preparing for our own eventual death.
But for me, I think that's the biggest issue, is that having an intimacy with your own end of life changes the way that you live your life every day.
Absolutely. You're not fully alive. My question is there life before death? And there is no, you can't be fully alive if you're not intimate with a living relationship of basically the impermanence of it all. Absolutely. So that's what we're out here doing, to bring it back into village life, something not to be afraid of. Not that we don't have fears, but to not let that fear get in the way of us making friends with something.
You have some public workshops coming up, programs?
We do. We've been taking a workshop around all the islands called Spirituality, Sustainability, and Death. There is no spiritual life without an intimate relationship with our dying. Sustainability, we talk about it, but if you look at what's sustainable, nature is sustainable, and nature is full of life and death dancing together. There is no sustainability without composting and death. And death, it's just so essential that we bring death and dying back into the cultural conversation, back into the culture and into the commons.
Superb. Bodhi, thank you for the work you do.
Thank you, Sam, very much.